Yahawah, He what I pray. Cause I know I can die any day. Teach Yahawah, just show me the way. Tryna walk down the path that you laid. Tired of sinning, cause I ain't the God.
I was asking him, man, how far have you come in the walk as far as, knowing who you are and what the Most High God requires of us now that you know who you are?
So I would say I'm like intermediate. I wouldn't say I'm 100%. Like I still ask questions. I always ask questions. I don't let people just tell me things. Like when I started seeing all of this, like Judah, Benjamin, like the 12 tribes and everything, like I started doing like research into like where these people came from and if this is really like who y'all said they are. You know what I'm saying? Because like when I see groups like this, I immediately think like, what about those false prophets and those false teachers that were supposed to like come and like confuse people? I don't want to fall victim to that. So even though this does support me and where I am and where I'm going and where I came from, I still want to make sure it's still the right thing that I'm actually giving my time to. Like obviously that's not true. I've already read it where it describes God as having, eyes of like a flame of fire and like the woolly white hair. See what I'm saying? Like
This is confusing.
that's idolatry. We're not supposed to have it across. That's idolatry. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I've seen what I have about like the transatlantic slave trade, right? How do y'all what makes you 100% confident that American blacks actually are the Like what makes you say like beyond like one shadow of a doubt, like this is really who we are?
Good question, bro. For one, we have to follow the prophets. Can a brother real quick, let me get the book of Psalms chapter 9 and verse 16. And brother, can you grab the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 16? The first thing I would do is, how do we recognize who the Most High is in these last days? Because that question could be said for a lot of things. You said, how do I know for 100% without a doubt who that we are? Okay, somebody may say, how do we know for 100% sure who the Most High is? We're going to read what he says out of this, brother. Who's Psalms 9 and 16?
The book of Psalms, chapter 9 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed.
Brother, you know how important that is? Read it again from the top.
Psalms chapter 9 and verse 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed.
No, we know him by guessing.
By the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands.
See, brother, the way that we know who the Most High God is that we know him by the judgment that he executes. Just one more, brother, Romans 8 and 16. I'm setting up a point, brother. We're going to get to it, but I just want you to understand how we figure this out.
I know exactly what, like, precept upon precept.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All praise to the Most High. So first we have to understand how we know who the Most High is. We're going to know him by his judgments. That's one thing that we said when we was dealing with some of our Muslim brothers who had the Quran. They came around and they was like, well, this Quran hasn't been corrupted. It hasn't been touched. And nobody's messed with it. But the Most High just said you know him by his judgments. His prophecies are going to come to pass. Nothing of the things that he said out of his mouth are going to return unto him void. So that's how we get an idea of who the Most High is, by his judgments.
He didn't say Bill Murray. I added that part. I don't want to.
All right, let's get that Romans 8 and 16, bro.
The book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself bearing witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
You hear how they say that we're going to know who the children of God are?
Our spirit's going to bear witness to our spirit that we'll be children of God.
Absolutely. Can we get John 6 and 63, brother? So the Spirit is going to bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. The next best question would be, well, what's the Spirit? Because we don't want to keep things fuzzy. We want to make them plain. Like you said, we want to make it 100% accurate. But this is saying that the Spirit is going to bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Let's get what the Spirit is, brother. John 6 and 63.
The book of John, chapter 6 and verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth.
Talking about the Spirit again, brother.
The flesh profited nothing. The words that The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
So the Spirit is the words that are being spoken of us, brother. That's essentially saying that the people who are the children of God are going to open this book, and the words themselves are going to bear witness with their spirit that they are the children of God. Okay, so this is one of the main things that us brothers go to help us understand who the children of Israel are. Can we get Deuteronomy 28 and 15 and verse 46 now, brother? And it's very important that we go over these first, because remember what we just read. The Spirit is going to bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And now that we know that the Spirit is these words, So that means when an Israelite, a real child of the Most High, opens up his Bible and reads it, it's going to bear witness with his spirit. If you can't relate to these words, what is that really telling us, brother? See, now I'm not leading you there, brother. That's just what you're deducing from the scriptures we brought out. But let's just get this real quick, brother. Deuteronomy 28 to start at 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. It shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Okay, so we know that the curses are supposed to come upon the children of Israel. Let's hear another mighty thing about these curses, brother. Verse 46.
46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
For what, brother?
For a sign.
It may be one of the biggest things, brother, because what does a sign do?
A sign, it's like an indicator.
You hitting it right on the head, brother. I often bring out, we know that that's a Dallas fish market because of the sign, brother. It wouldn't be surprised if they sold fish, right? So when you see that these curses are upon of people, it shouldn't be a surprise to you that they're the ones who the children of Israel are referring to. Because they're going to go back to these curses because they're on them for a sign. Starting from the top one more time, brother, verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
That may be even more important, brother, because you'll have people that'll tell you, brother, slavery was 200 years ago, brother. You're not a slave today. But this just said that the curses were going to be on the children of Israel for a sign forever. So you'll have some people that wants to leave this stuff in the Old Testament and act like the Most High God's word is going to continue. That's why I said that it's going to be upon thy seed forever. So even in 2024, we should be able to look up and recognize the people that are under these curses, and they're going to bear witness with the Spirit, like we read in the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 16. Another thing has to come into play, brother, because we can't act like this is not a thing. Can you grab Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1?
What book are you going to right now?
The book of Hebrews chapter 11. Now, absolutely, you got to bring that out. Now, this is just proof. Let my brother get one.
Yeah. Can you ask a question about the American blacks being
this is in the book of Joel, chapter 3, starting at verse 3. And they have cast lots of my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and so a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things. The children also of Judah.
Children of who, brother?
Of Judah. And the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians.
You got to ask yourself, who's going to bear witness with that? Somebody, whoever the children of Judah are, had to be sold to the Grecians. Now, most of us are aware who the Greeks are, but what people were sold to the Grecians? And not only sold to the Grecians, but Tyre and Zidon that he's mentioning are those African nations. So there were people who were African nations who sold another people unto the Grecians.
Well, I know like that. We were in the Greek captivity, right?
And so I'm saying, look who's fitting that though, brother. Because we went from the Greek captivity and then we ended up in Rome. We was in the Roman captivity. And then we also ended, and what happened to those slaves that were in Rome? My brother has history that shows us that in 70 AD, that after the siege on Jerusalem, that many of the black Jewish slaves fled into Africa. When you do that history, brother, we went from the north coast of Africa all the way down to the west coast of Africa. And if you keep going, you'll see that previous maps show that land as Negro land. And they also show that land as Kingdom of Judah.
But I got a question. What previous maps, like what sources are you guys pulling from? And I'm playing devil's advocate, right?
No problem. Absolutely.
Because I like to know. So what sources are you guys pulling this information from? And is it credible?
That is credible?
Is it credible?
I'm not sure how you said it. You said,
so what I'm saying is, like, are you pulling this information? Like, because you have to, like, I'm aware of from Babylon to Timbuktu. I see the cover right there. I'm aware of that. Right. But but when I researched, I think his name was Rudolph or something. Windsor. When I researched him, there was a lot of people that was like debunking his information as like it's like black, religious, nut job style, and blah 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 blah. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I just want to know what sources are you guys pulling these? Like, this is throwing your maps from? Like, where are they coming from?
Well, the main thing that we're going to go by is scriptures like this. So, yeah, the word is always going to reign supreme. And am I going to go and vouch for a man that I don't know? I don't know that. But I will. Let me get the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 28, bro.
But I do know there's a scripture that says to prove all things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's why I'm not going to prove what that brother did. But what I will say is this, brother. Romans 8 and 28, or not me saying it.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God.
So, brother, things work together for the good of them that love the Most High God. Whether that was somebody that did that history or didn't do that history, whether these maps existed or didn't exist, people like to say, why do we come up with these signs, brother? But these things aren't done just willy-nilly out of nowhere. All things are in the hands of the Most High God. Wisdom, knowledge, even lies and deceit, brother. Okay, if a man is deceived, then the Most High God is who deceived him. And if there's truth out there, then it's the Most High God that put that truth out there. So a lot of times we get led by the Most High God and not necessarily our own devices. So, absolutely. Let me read this also, brother, because this may be even more important, brother. Hebrews 11 and 1.
The book of Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Now, a lot of people don't like to put faith into this thing, but I'm not one of those brothers because the Bible says this about faith. Hebrews 11 and 6.
Verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him.
No, brother, we have to have DNA and scientific and 100% evidence of all the things, brother.
But without faith, it is impossible to please him.
Brother, if he had 100% evidence, let's say one of us brothers lived to be 3,000 years old, and it was as clear as day that we can just go to that brother and be like, all right, 3,000 years old, you know everything, let's just ask you. Brother, that would take away the faith. The Most High God wants you to put faith in his words. And he wants his spirit to bear witness with your spirit that we are the children of the Most High God. So we can't exclude faith out of these things. Because, brother, if we continue, especially try to verify sources like maps and things like that, I'm not here to say that they aren't true or they are true. What I am saying is that the children of God are going to bear witness with these things. My brother only brought out one particular prophecy, brother. We got Jeremiah 17 and 4. We got Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3. We got Jeremiah 30 and Jeremiah 50. And it seems like you're pretty familiar with Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Absolutely. So when you read in the story, brother, some people are going to read this entire book and say, this is me and my people. And you're going to have a little bit of faith, brother, but your faith is not necessarily in man, and your faith is not in the fact to be able to track back the maps because none of us were there to write them. Our faith is going to be put in the Most High God. So at the end of the day, we can have a lot of proof, brother, and us brothers do our best to give everybody the proof, but there has to be some level of faith involved as well. And that faith is going to be in the Word. So while we do have these sources, brother, to answer questions for our brothers, the main thing is that this Word bears witness with a brother's spirit that he would be the children of God. Both of those things are going to come into play, brother. The ability to have faith in this Word, but also the ability to go and prove all things as well. And that's what's important. I don't want to take that away from a brother because the scriptures also say, let the Most High God be true and every man a liar. So even if we did have a man that lived 3,000 years old, like we're bringing that analogy up, now we're putting our faith and trust in that man. Because we can't put our faith and trust in the word of the Most High, so that's something that we ought not do. At the end of the day, a level of faith is going to have to be required. As we read in Hebrews 11 and 6, without faith, we won't be able to please the Most High God. What you got out?
And I also wanted to tell you to answer it, to piggyback on, because that was very beautiful. You hit it on the nail. Right. But there's a lot of historical books that does not contradict the scriptures. There's a lot of sites. There's even artifacts, like old ancient artifacts, proving this history. But it's just the fact that
and the reason why these things exist in our time, these artifacts, is because you got to remember when we weren't taken into slavery, we couldn't speak no English, we couldn't write English, none of that. So the people who took us speaking English or Spanish, whatever it was, they were able to make the maps and tell the stories because they wouldn't talk English.
Yo, I still feel that history is always written by not like who won. I am aware that you need like I do understand that you need like some faith as well. Like it's not just all about factual things. I got a question too about this bishop and family man. I can see it everywhere. Who was the man? Did he start this movement or what?
Great question, brother. I'm not going to forget that, but my brother had a little bit more on that bone with Hebrews 11 and 6 about how important faith is. It's only 2 more verses, and then I'm going to address that, brother.
For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
Brother, that can't think about how important that is, man. Because he that believes in the Most High, like even if we did have what a brother thought was 100% proof, you have to believe in a Most High power that's not going to reveal himself to you. That's why it says that without faith it's going to be impossible to please him. So at some point you're going to have to suspend, I need to know 100% everything accurate, and I need to trust on the Most High God. Whatever this battle is, trusting on the Most High God is a part of that battle. That's a part of the mystery of the kingdom of heaven, is that we have to trust in his word and trust in his greatness. If you can see it, brother, now no more trust remains. If we had all the answers, then no more trust remains, but that faith is required. Let them get this account, brother. It goes a little bit into Abraham.
Verse 7, by faith Noah, being warned of God, things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out to a place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went.
So that's our mighty forefathers, brother. Our forefather Noah, our forefather Abraham, they moved by faith, and they were rewarded for their faith and how they moved it. So there's a lot of proof that us as Israelites can give you, brother. I'll give you just one good clue before I address the question you said. There is proof that they made us sure that we weren't able to read, brother. I had to look it up myself, but there's something called the anti-literacy laws that this country had, I think from the early 1800s, maybe even the late 1700s, all the way up to like the late 1800s. But it was quite a period of time where a lot of people think that they were lying in all of these books, but it was punishable by death for you to even read. Okay, there was something that they were trying to keep away from you. I heard my brother Naquan say this plainly. We can't look at like all of these things happen by accident. Okay, the fact that they made sure that they stripped you of your name. If the history they had nothing to lie about, brother, why would they keep it away from you?
That's the question that I asked.
And that's so it's okay to have skepticism for somebody to say like, hey, you know what? They said that man Rudolph Windsor was just a black man and he was just hateful. But even one of their men, have you heard of Arthur Kessler? Okay, this is a Jewish man. He says the same thing. He says that those people in the land of Israel, they descend from the Khazars. Right. Okay, and they come from the land of Khazaria. Okay, there's a whole lot of history, not just one man. But like I'm saying, I don't want to put you on a trail of getting you outside of the Bible to establish your righteousness. So I do agree with proof, and it's all praise to the Most High. You're right. It does say prove all things. The scripture also says that be ignorant to nothing. Okay, so we're not trying to make you ignorant and not have you go out and seek out information. But we definitely want the main component that drives you is your faith in the Most High God. Right. Because without faith, we're not going to be able to please him. Right. So absolutely, we can definitely get into that. But I just wanted you to consider, brother, they're trying to bash that man now. But these were the same people who made sure that we were killed if we read. These are the same people who tried to strip our nationality and our heritage away from us. You can have a slave of people and still not take who they are. Right. That's why I say it's not by accident. If we were really Africans, when we came off those ships, they would have said 100 Africans for sale and not 100 Negroes for sale. Right. Okay, the land that map says was Negro land. It's already given a correlation that they knew you weren't African. Because what's the harm in letting you know you're African and what tribe you come from? They wasn't scared of Africa coming over here to fight with them and take you back. Because you were sold. It's the slave trade. Okay, so somebody traded you to the Grecians like we read in the book of Joel chapter 3. So there was no benefit in them taking away your heritage, your language, unless they were trying to play tricks and games on you. Unless they were trying to keep you away from true knowledge, which is knowing who you really are, brother. All these are clues that we have to consider. And what was the first verse we brought out? How do we know the Most High? By the judgments. No, that's how we know the Most High. The Most High God said, I can be known by the judgments. So when we look at the judgments that were pronounced against the children of Israel, and then we look at our history, brother, that we've gone through all these things that these people were going to go through, not only slavery on ships, but even forgetting our nationality and heritage, being sold to the Grecians by the African nations. African American in this country is going to read that about Judah and say, that's my history. Okay, that's how we're supposed to be able to establish our belief. And most importantly, like you said, brother, by faith. Now, you brought up Bishop Nathaniel, brother. What did you... Because I don't want to speak for you, but what do you think about him yourself?
I don't know him enough to say anything about him or anything. I just want to know, like, I see his name a lot, and it's almost like people like praise this man like a god. It's like, what is he?
Yeah. You know, the scripture tells us that we should reverence mighty men. And us brothers bring this out a lot, man. I'm not a Bishop Nathaniel follower, but I would have to be blind to say that man wasn't set up by the Most High God. For whatever reason, remember what we just read in Romans 8:28, okay, that all things go to the glory of the Most High God for them that love him. So even a man like that may have been set up, think about how many people he woke up. Can we real quick get the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 1? And can you grab Philippians chapter 1 and verse 15? And 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. Check this out, brother.
The book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 1. Then spake Yahawah to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Now, I'm not calling anybody a scribe and a Pharisee, but what I want you to understand is what Yahawah is going to tell us about people that teach us, brother. Listen to this.
Verse 3. Therefore, whatsoever they bid you, observe. That observe and do.
So he's telling the people that whatever the scribes and Pharisees tell you to do, observe and do it. But what, brother?
But do not ye after their works.
Brother, this is giving you a mighty account if you take some time to think about this. There is a man that can teach you, but that doesn't mean you follow his ways. Bishop Nathaniel probably woke up thousands of brothers. Like I said, I'm not saying that this fits him, but I'm just saying regardless of what his lot is, that man may have been able to teach thousands of brothers to come into this truth. And he didn't teach them to follow him. He taught you to follow Yahawah by Shem Yahawah. So we can't overlook that. There is a man. Matter of fact, we can get that just in the scriptures, brother. Can you also go to the book of Sirach? I want to say that's in Sirach 37. And 19. Is that what I want? That's it. 37:19. Listen to this, bro.
The book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 19. There is one that is wise and teaches many.
Think about that, brother. This is saying that there is a man that's going to be wise and he's going to teach many. But what, brother?
And yet is unprofitable to himself.
Brother, that's a true thing. That's kind of echoing what Yahawah said in Matthew 23. Even though the scribes and Pharisees were known for going off, they still were teaching people to keep the commandments. That's why Yahawah said, whatever they do tell you to do, do it. However, don't do after their works. So there is a man that is going to be wise and teach many, even though to himself he may not be profitable. So a lot of times when I see men like that may be set up, and again, I got to keep echoing this, I'm not saying Bishop Nathaniel fits this. I don't know that man enough to say that. I'm just saying no matter what your feelings are towards him, if he was able to lead thousands of brothers into this truth, then his purpose is of the Most High God. The Most High God set that up. Okay, it says the deceiver and the deceived is in the hands of the Most High God. So a brother like Bishop Nathaniel may teach you, he may even teach me. But who we follow should always be Yahawah by Shem Yahawah. There is a man that can teach you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to act like that man. Does that make sense, brother?
100%. I'm following you 100%.
You have something else, brother?
I don't have no questions. I really just want to be a part of it. That's all. Like when I came up here, like I wasn't really coming up here to like see if I could debunk y'all or anything.
I don't feel that at all in your spirit, brother.
No, I'm not coming to debunk. I'm really just coming to kind of be a part of this. It kind of feel like I need to be here right now. That's why I came out.
All praise to the Most High. Let him get this Philippians 1 and 15 too, brother. You got something? All right, let him get this, brother.
The book of Philippians, chapter 1 and verse 15. Some indeed preach Christ, even of envy and strife.
Brother, do you believe that?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we just got to be real, brother.
Yeah.
Some Hebrew Israelites, some Christian pastors, there's a lot of people that's going to teach Christ, but they're going to do it in different spirits, brother. Listen to how Paul addresses how different people may teach this gospel, but what we should do when we know that that's the case. Start over from the top one more time, bro.
Philippians chapter 1 and verse 15. Some indeed preach Christ, even of envy and strife, and some also of good will. The one preach Christ of contention.
Some people teach Christ just to fight, brother. And we know that. You'll see some people, and we dress. I don't know how other camps, man, but that's why we're going to bring 2 Corinthians 5 and 10 out after we say this. Because whether we follow a Bishop Nathaniel or many of the other camps that are out there, we have to be in mind of this, brother. Continue.
The one preach Christ of contention, not sincerely.
Now, what, brother?
Not sincerely.
Brother, you said you watching us. You probably heard us bring up the word sincere maybe 200 times. Okay, we teach that a lot, brother, because sincerity matters in this thing. So it's telling you that some people are going to teach this word and they're not going to be sincere. But what, brother? What goes after that?
Supposing to add affliction to my bonds, but the other of love, knowing that I am sent for the defense of the gospel. What then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is preached.
Think about what he's saying. Matter of fact, say that when he says what then, he's basically giving you the state of the people. Some people teach Christ out of contention, out of strife. Some people teach him in sincerity, but he said what then? Start from what then, brother?
What then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is preached, and I therein do rejoice. Yea.
Think about that, brother. Is there more on that?
Yea, and will rejoice.
He said whether Christ is teached out of contention or whether he's teached out of sincerity, either way, Yahawah is being taught. So that's what I'm being taught. So that's what I'm telling you, brother. There's going to be some men that are raised up and they teach Yahawah, but they may not do it in sincerity and in truth. But they may raise a sincere brother up like you, though. You see how that makes sense? So we're not following that brother and the moves of that brother, but that brother was able to wake up thousands of people, and out of those thousands of people, how many did he wake up that was going to be sincere? Okay, so at the end of the day, we always follow Yahawah Ba'ashim Yahawah, regardless of who our leaders is, and we can still learn a lot from our leaders, even if they're not teaching in the spirit that we're going to end up being under. Let my brother get what he had.
Book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 14. Now therefore, fear Yahawah and serve him in sincerity and in truth.
That can't be made any more plain. Let's get that 2 Corinthians 5 and 10, brother. This maybe wraps it all up, brother, about how they should be handled.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5 and verse 10. Yeah. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ.
No, before the judgment seat of our camp leaders.
For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ.
That's who's the judge, brother. We're going to appear before the judgment seat of Yahawah. And what, brother?
That every one may receive the things done in his body.
No, done in his camp.
They receive the things done in his body.
So when you appear in front of that judgment seat of Yahawah, brother, you're responsible for the things you did in your body. Okay, I don't know how other leaders teach. I'm not responsible for how other leaders teach. This scripture right here is telling you that you're responsible for what you do in your body. So whether you Bishop Nathaniel, whether you a brother like me, you should teach people to follow Yahawah Ba'ashim Yahawah, because every man is going to be responsible for what he did in his body. Not his camp, not his church, not his congregation, but what he did in his own body. What, bro?
According to that he had done.
According to that he had done. So at the end of the day, brother, these are all things that we need to be aware of, regardless of who our leader and teacher is. Every leader and teacher, and even a Bishop Nathaniel, that's why I have to give that man praise. That's why you heard me say, I know the Most High God set him up. Because regardless of what he might do, and again, I'm going to say this 4 times, I'm not saying that man is wicked. But what I'm saying is, regardless of what a brother thought about him, we can't deny that he raised up maybe thousands, maybe 10,000, nowadays maybe hundreds of thousands of brothers. And they do have the opportunity to be taught Yahawah and worship him in sincerity and in truth. So that's why I say no matter what, he was set up by the Most High.
I got 2 things for that. One thing was I agree, because I know there's a verse that says that there's a verse that says they'll honor, like it says, for behold, like they honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Right. So I know full and well that's true, but then also when it comes, there was a verse that I had in mind. I don't know where it's at, but I know it's in here. Okay. But there's a verse that says that a man that saves like a lot of souls, like covers many sins.
Absolutely.
So even if if it's not profitable for him, it technically would be, because he's saving a lot of people if he actually is doing the right thing, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't agree with that more, brother. That's why we come out here to do this work, man. Like us brothers, and maybe we don't think about this enough and it's not said enough, but we're blessed to come do this work. I know a lot of us look at it like it's a job and it's a duty and it's work, and it is. Nobody's saying it's not easy, but it's a blessing at the same time. Because of that scripture you just brought out, brother. When we go and wake another brother up, we cover a multitude of sins. Okay, and I'm pretty sure none of us brothers don't have way more sins than we try to cover. So it's mighty to come out here and do the work. That's how you show that you're really sincere in this thing. Okay, even though you may have made mistakes, you not only come out here to just say, yeah, Most High, I made some mistakes, but you say, what can I do to fix it? What can I do to help? You know, it's like that person that put drugs into their community. They don't just stop selling drugs. No, they go out and teach others to do better. Okay, so that's showing a real contrite, humble, and sincere spirit. So, mighty scripture that you brought out, bro.
Okay, cool. Like, what do y'all go through to be here as a youth? Like, what do y'all do? Like, what's the rite of passage to get into this? Because, like, right now, I'm not working.
Right.
And that's the thing that I go through that a lot down here. In Texas, I'm not from Texas. Like, I go through that a lot. Like, I'm a chef. I'll get a job.
So you a chef?
I'm a salary chef.
You in, brother?
I'm a salary chef, but it's like down here I find myself like in and out of jobs like a lot. In and out of jobs a lot, and it's not because I don't perform anything. It's just like they just don't like me being here. So it's like right now, since I'm in between jobs, it's like, you know what? I don't have anyone stopping me, just like telling me to come in and work on Fridays, Saturdays. I can keep the Sabbath to the best of my ability. You know, I can actually like delve myself into this right now. And something told me, like, you know, the funny thing about it, I was at a woman's house last night, and everything told me to get up and leave. Like everything told me to get up and leave, and that's like one of the biggest problems that I have is women. It's women and weed. I gave weed up for the most part. I barely smoke these days. Like, I hardly ever. But women is like this last meal has like this hold on me. So it's like something came over me last night and said to pick your Bible up and just leave and go home. And as soon as I did that, my cousin said, hey, yo, like, they're going to be out there tomorrow. You should go. And I was like, you know what? Like, I ain't got no job. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm at no woman's house. Like, you know, and it's like, I want to be really bought in. I don't want to be lukewarm. Like, so what I'm saying is, like, how do I get to this?
Brother, I mean, you just brought out a lot, brother, and all I can do is give you what's on my spirit. I'm going to let you know that most of us brothers started out in that same way. Yeah. Okay, no brother was just up here keeping all the commandments before we came into this truth. Yeah. And like we brought out real quick, brother, Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. Can we get for him also the book of Luke chapter 18 and verse 10? Listen to this, brother.
The book of Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord.
No, brother, we all chose to be here.
Man's goings are of the Lord.
That includes you, brother. So the whole fact that you here, whatever was put on your spirit to bring you down here today, brother, was of the Most High God. What else, brother?
How can a man then understand his own way?
So it really ain't about us knowing our way, brother. We have to follow that spirit that's been put on us by the Most High God. If he made you get up and leave out of that woman's house, brother, that was what he wanted you to do. Same way if he wanted you to come down here and come and fellowship with us, brothers, and congregate with us, brothers. But I will tell you one of the most important things. Also, brother, can we grab Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7? And also Proverbs 4 and 7. Proverbs 1 and 7 and 4 and 7. You got Luke 18 and 10. Check this out, brother.
The book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 10. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican.
I was just reading this parable. Remember, I was telling you, brother, I've been studying on a lot of parables, brother. Are you familiar with this parable of the publican and the Pharisee?
No, I'm not.
Listen to these two
I got
types.
two questions. What is a publican and what is a Pharisee, so I can follow?
A publican is a tax collector.
Okay.
So that's somebody that would have not only been a sinner, but he would have been hated of his people because he was collecting taxes at that time for Caesar. Okay, so he would have been somebody who the people looked at as oppressing them, and you basically working for the oppressor. It would be like our modern day, a big sellout. Not only this, but he sells out and he works for them as well. So, absolutely, the worst ones to listen to this. And then you know who the Pharisee is, right?
I know what I know. Was it like the people that were like teaching the word, but they were like not teaching it like the correct way?
Remember what we read in Matthew 23? It said the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So these were the men who actually had the Bible in their hand. Not everybody's walking around with a Bible. Okay, the text was very small. A lot of people didn't have it. I don't mean small like the length. I mean small like the amount of circulation it had. Okay. So certain men actually had the word, and that's who people had to go to in order to get the law and get the understanding. That's who the Pharisees were. That's why he told them in Matthew 23, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So these should be your most righteous men. But if you keep reading in Matthew 23,
I know they're not. Like they cry out in the streets, they disfigure their faces. It's like
exactly. So they were men who knew the law, but like he said, they themselves wasn't doing it. So that's why he told you to learn from them, let them teach you, and whatever they teach you, but don't do what they do. That's who the Pharisees are. All right, let's get this account, brother.
The book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 10. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican.
So we know exactly who they are now.
The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I'm not as the other men are.
Think about that, brother. Like, I can't lie in front. How many times do you hear that in Israel, brother? You hear that a lot. That spirit a lot, right? Thank the Most High God, I'm not like this man. You can't wait to point the finger. Thank God I'm not like you. Look at you, brother. You wicked, and I'm not like you. Thank the Most High. There's some man that went up to the temple and thought to say that. Let's hear the rest of this account, bro.
Extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican.
And then he even pointed at the publican. Look at me. I ain't like this man. What else, bro?
I fast twice in a week.
How many times you, boy? I fast twice a week, brother. I done read 20 chapters today. What you did?
I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner.
Think about this, brother. I love this account, man, because this makes it plain. And I'm going to just be honest with you. I brought this out, brother, because it seems like you have a spirit like this publican, more than that Pharisee. And me personally, brother, matter of fact, can we get the book? Man, I know I got you holding that, but can you also go to Isaiah 57 and verse 15? I'm going to tell you the reason why you may be a great brother to help join the camp and help push this ministry along. Matter of fact, we're going to prove that out of Isaiah 57, brother. But listen to finish how this account went between the Pharisee who was telling everybody he was righteous, so he looked righteous. He's not going to come up and say what you said, brother, like, hey, you know what? I got this issue with smoking. I got this issue with women. You know, I got this going on. You know, I got this going on. That Pharisee would have been like, nah, look at this person right here. Yeah, so I'm bringing this story out for you, brother. Finish it out.
Verse 14, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified.
This man went down to his house, and this is the publican, brother. What did he do?
This man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself.
What are you doing, bro?
And he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
So these aren't my words, brother. When you say something to me like, what do I have to do to be down with you, brothers? One of the best things you can show is a humble and contrite spirit. Okay, because this is the kind of person that Yahawah is telling you is more justified. That man that came to him with that humble and contrite spirit left more justified than that Pharisee who was pumping on his chest and pointing the finger at everybody else. But let's let the Most High say it out of his own words, brother. Isaiah 57:15.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 57 and verse 15. For thus said the high and lofty one that inhabited eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place.
He's telling you where he dwells at. Okay, this is who he's dealing with. Let's hear who it is, brother.
With him also that is of contrite and humble spirit.
No, brother, of him that points the finger at everybody.
With him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit.
No, with him that's going to come to God and tell him all the things that he's doing and how righteous he is.
With him also that is of contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite one.
Think about that, brother. He just basically told you with that he wants a brother like you to do the work. He dwells in a man that has a humble and contrite spirit so that they can wake up who? Those with a humble and contrite spirit. Okay, so a brother like you would be able to relate to a brother that's just getting off of being able to smoke. That's just being able to get rid of that lust that he had for women. But that brother that's walking around swearing he's perfect, he just gonna come out here and point the finger all day. Okay, he raises up humble and contrite men that they may go out there and revive the spirit of humble and contrite men.
That's right.
Okay, so that's also who the Most High God is looking for. And like I said, that's beautifully echoed by Yahawah in the book of Luke. What did you have out?
Book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure it. And make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient, but thou art changed to a lowly state. Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Yeah, we love that verse,
I know
brother.
this verse. My cousin used that verse all day, every day. Yeah. He said you're going to be tried to gold, like gold in the fire.
All right, you got the 8. Can you get Sirach 21 and 11, brother?
What's that, bro?
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 10. The fear of Almighty Yah is the beginning of wisdom.
Brother, why? You know I was going to grab that, brother. But yeah, let him cook with that. Let him cook.
I'm just holding it.
No, and that's the spirit, brother. The reason why I wanted him to bring this up, say it one more time out.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 9, starting at verse 10.
You know that?
The fear of Almighty Yah is the beginning of wisdom.
No, brother, I got to have it all together right now.
It is the beginning of wisdom.
Brother, that's where you start at. Okay, how you start, brother, is having a fear of the Most High God. People who don't have a true fear of the Most High God, according to the scripture, isn't going to even be able to get the beginning of wisdom. That's why a brother like you even was compelled to come down here versus, brother, you know how many people just looked at us crazy as we told them to stop before you came up here?
I see the videos all the time.
Exactly. Okay, we probably tried to reach out to 10 to 15 brothers. They can't even get the beginning of wisdom because they don't really have a true fear of the Most High God. I think you might have a little bit more on that bone, bro. Absolutely. Let him finish that out.
And the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. You stood here and you let him know how humble you are and you're trying to get him understanding.
Absolutely, brother. Let's get that for him. Sirach 21 and 11.
A little bit more. For by me your days will be multiplied, Almighty Yah, and years of life will be added to you.
All praise to the Most High, brother. Check this one out, brother.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 11. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof.
Brother, I can't skip that because I know we're talking a lot about being humble and being contrite and having a fear. And we just said that that's the beginning, but we're not going to act like we don't have to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. The reason for that is because of this verse, brother. Say it again from the top.
Sirach 21 and verse 11. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof. So
if a brother like you is really sincere, brother, even though you may not have it all together right now, if you want the understanding, what are you going to start doing?
Gotta keep the laws and commandments.
Okay, absolutely, brother.
It says that in Revelations. Like, I know that. That's what I'm trying my best to do. Like, usually as a chef, I have to be there on the weekends. I have to work the weekends. I won't work. Like, they were literally, I just would have no job. And like my cousin been on my head. He's like, bro, you really gotta like keep the Sabbath. And I hear it. Like, I hear it. But it's like, oh, I also got bills to pay. So it's like, how do I do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I feel like right now is the perfect time. I'm not working. My bills are paid once in advance. Like, I can really dive deep. And so that's, I do want to keep the commandments. You know what I mean? I do want to actually like live my life right. Like, it's like anytime I like read my Bible and I'm like really into it, everything goes good.
Absolutely.
My money increased. I got better relationships with my family, my friends. It seems like I'm not waking up anxious all the time. I don't feel the need to drink is nowhere near as much. I don't feel the need to go lay up under a woman as much. I don't feel the need to smoke no weed. It's like I really be good, but for some odd reason, it's like the moment I put it down, for one day, everything go wrong.
We're definitely going to get into that, brother. We're going to give you some mighty tools to use. Can we real quick, brother, go to the book of John, chapter 9?
I don't got to do it real quick. I ain't in a rush at all.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. Hey, see, that's what I'm used to people that's trying to get up out of here, but that shows a lot about you, brother.
Because y'all be like, two more verses, and I'll sit there. They're like, no, I got to go. I can tell you right now, they ain't got to go nowhere. It's just the wicked free with no.
That's why I wanted to commend you for that spirit first, brother, because I'm not going to act like it's not going to be a battle. That's why my brother brought out that we're going to be tried as gold in the fire. But I will tell you that a humble and contrite brother is definitely where you want to start. That's why Yahawah himself said between that publican and that Pharisee, that publican left more justified. Okay, because he came in there and said, Lord, deal with me, a sinner. Okay, the fact that you have a humble and contrite spirit, brother, you didn't already confess your sins because you don't even know it's like that. Okay, but really you didn't confess your sins to just us. You confessed them to the Most High, bro. So that's a very important spirit to be in. My brother has something, and then we're going to get John chapter 9, verse 39, and also the book of Luke chapter 5 and verse 30, brother.
Because he was talking about that wisdom. In Sirach chapter 1, verse 26, and read this. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments.
What, bro?
And the Lord shall give you unto, and the Lord shall give her unto you.
So as we mentioned, brother, the way we get the understanding is we always going to have to come back to these commandments.
Right.
But we want to build you up, brother. A lot of people will start with just the commandments and a brother doesn't have the humble and contrite spirit first. That's why they're in a rush to get up out of here, brother, because they don't really want to be here. A brother like you actually wants to be here, and I'd rather start with that, brother, because the humble and contrite were sent to raise up who? The humble and contrite, brother. All right, he had a little bit more on that bone for Sirach 21, brother. Let's get that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 11. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof, and the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom.
Perfection of the fear of the Lord is what, brother?
And the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom.
See, brother, having a fear of the Lord, a perfection of the fear of the Lord is actually what's wisdom. Okay, some people may look like it, I know 300 verses by memory. That's great. But the perfection of the Lord, of the perfection of wisdom, is having that fear of the Most High God. There's a scripture that says that a man that has a fear of the Most High God is greater than he that has wisdom. Think about that. That's just how important having that fear is first. That's why brothers can't skip that step. It said that the fear of the Most High God is the beginning of wisdom. So if you skip that step and you're like, well, you know what, I'm going to go to having 300 precepts memorized. But you skip that first mighty step of having a fear of the Most High God. That's why you out here blaming and judging your people. You look more like that Pharisee versus looking more like that publican. Because you didn't start with a fear of the Most High God. That publican left more justified. Remember that account. What I had you in John 9 and 39, brother?
John chapter 9 and verse 39. And Jesus said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words.
Go with the Pharisees again, brother.
And said unto him, are we blind also? Jesus said unto them, if ye were blind, ye should have no sin.
Think about what he's saying. This is deep, brother. Finish it out.
But now ye say, we see, therefore your sin remaineth.
What do you think he's trying to tell these Pharisees?
Read it one more time. Read it one more time.
Good. Perfect, brother. We love to. Hey, that's what we here for, brother. We ain't going nowhere either, brother. Let's get it.
Read it one more time.
Jesus said unto them, if ye were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, we see, therefore your sin remaineth.
Oh, I know what that means. There's a verse for that. It basically says, like, once you're aware that, like, this is the law, this is what you're supposed to do, like, once you become aware of that, you're not held, like, you're held accountable.
Absolutely. And that's part of it, brother. Let's also get Luke chapter 5 and verse 30. Brother, can you go to the book of Luke chapter 7 and verse 39? Listen to this one, brother.
The book of Luke, chapter 5 and verse 30. But their scribes and Pharisees murmured against his disciples, saying, why do ye eat and drink with publicans and sinners?
Brother, do you know that they came and asked Yahawah that? Think about that. These same men that he described with the Pharisee and the publican were beating on their chest, talking about how righteous they were. And when they seen Yahawah, he was dwelling with publicans and sinners. You know who the publicans were, right? Okay, and sinners. So that's who Yahawah was dealing with. Let's listen to his response about why he said he was with them, brother.
I noticed you're gonna say, like, does the sick need a doctor or something like that? He came to you. Come on,
And now that's going back to the account we read first, brother, about why he said if you were blind, then you would be able to see. But because you say you're not blind, your sin remains. All of this is related together. You know?
And Jesus answered and said unto them, they that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Brother, he's trying to say that because none of you are righteous. But since you're so proud and boastful that you think you're righteous, I'm not even here for you.
Right.
I'm here for the sinners. I'm here for that publican. I'm not here for the Pharisee that's pointing fingers. You are already righteous. What do you need me for? This said that the sick need a physician. Okay, so think about that, brother. If you got a disease right now, but you don't know you sick, how helpful is the doctor? Not helpful at all. But if you got 100 sicknesses and you know you're sick, you're going to be seeking out the physician, brother. That's really what he's trying to say in that account. Since you don't know you're blind, you're going to stay blind. But if you knew you were blind, I can heal you. All right, let's get what you had, brother. Luke 7 and 39.
Hold on, I want to get my battery. Let me get this word real quick. I'm going to talk to you later.
Come on, I'll pray. Come on, we can do that. We're gonna wrap this point up, brother. I just want you to understand.
This is my cousin. That's my cousin. He want to make sure I'm actually still here. That's
matter of fact, why was that the second point I was gonna get into when you said you're struggling, brother? Matter of fact, let me get prepared, brother.
Wait, so he was you had contact?
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, weeks ago, I made the comments that I got a job. It's like I was working. I'm like, nah, I ain't. So it's like, come on, let's get it.
Absolutely. Hey, can we get that Zephaniah 2 and 1 and the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse? Let's start at verse 9.
The book of Luke, chapter 7 and verse 36. And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him. And he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat. And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, when she knew that Yahawah sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. Now, when the Pharisees which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, This man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman that touches him.
Brother, I don't know if you're paying attention, but that verse just explained to you so perfectly about what's going on. Okay, Yahawah was eating with the Pharisees, and again, we know who they are. They're those men who are over righteous. They swear they got everything down pat. And it said that a woman who was a sinner, so she was a known sinner, she also came up to Yahawah. I'm basically telling you why we like to deal with a brother like you, brother. Okay, we're not gonna not put you on to the commandments, but you gotta have these foundational things first, brother. A fear of the Most High God is the beginning of your wisdom. And we're trying to make sure that we, as humble and contrite brothers, revive the spirit of the humble and contrite. When you read this account, you can see that that's just how Yahawah was behaving. Let's listen to what he did with this woman that was a sinner, brother. Let's see if you just told her to get up out of here. I can see that you ain't keeping this, keeping that. Let's see what he did to this woman.
Is this the woman where he said because of your faith you have been made clean? Is it the one with the issue of blood?
Absolutely. No, not the issue with blood, but this is the woman that was the sinner. But he did say that first line. He said, we're going to finish it out, brother.
For she is a sinner. And Yahawah answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he said, Master, say on. There was a certain creditor which had 2 debtors. The one owed 500 pence, and the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him most? Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave most. And he said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged.
Thou hast rightly what?
Thou hast rightly judged.
See, brother, and we brought this out our last camp, brother. Not all judgment is about pointing fingers. Okay, some judgment is about making the right decision. Okay, matter of fact, brother, I've been wanting to bring that up. Now I know I got you holding something. Can you also grab that Sirach chapter 27 that we was reading? We're going to start at verse 4. All right, keep going though, brother.
Verse 44. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thy house, thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she hath washed my feet with tears, and wiped them with the hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss, but this woman, since this time I came in, hath not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I said unto thee, her sins, which are many.
Her sins, which are what, brother?
Her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much.
For she what?
For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little.
Think about this cut Yahawah is doing. Okay, that's why we teach brothers from this way, brother. And I'm not like every brother, and I don't need every brother to be like me. I'm fine with that. You know, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna follow Yahawah. That's the foundation that I'm building myself on. So if Yahawah did it like this, guess what I'm gonna do my best to do? I'm gonna do it like this, brother. So I'm gonna try to teach you in the same way that he was teaching, brother. Okay, even though you have many sins, brother, when you show that you love Yahawah, okay, that carries a whole bunch of weight, brother. A whole bunch of weight, and you walking around puffed up looking like you're perfect because you're trying to come out here. Let's say you came out here like, yeah, brother, look at all the fringes I got. I fasted 2 times last week. I read 20 chapters yesterday. Let me join WFI. Then we might be looking at you side-eyed. You know, you coming in that spirit of that Pharisee. But a brother that can come and say, hey, I'm a sinner, man, help me, brothers. How do I get closer to y'all? You know, I'm feeling like the Most High is putting something on my spirit to make me want to come out and do the work. Brother, that's exactly the kind of person that it looks like Yahawah was dealing with. Is there anything left on that, brother?
Verse 49. And they that sat at meat with him began to say within themselves, Who is this that forgiveth sins also? And he said to the woman, Thy faith has saved thee. Go in peace.
Go in peace, brother. So that's one of the main things that we can also teach, brother. Can you also go to 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 5? Let's get what you got, brother. The book of Sirach, chapter 27. I think let's start at verse 4, brother.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 27 and verse 4.
No.
As when one sifted with a seed, the refuse remaineth. So the filth of man in his talk.
The filth of man is where, brother?
So the filth of man in his talk.
You agree with that, brother? That's mighty, huh?
I do agree. Your tongue is definitely very dangerous.
Brother, we know that Proverbs 18 and 21 says that death and life is in the power of the tongue. Yahawah told you that every man is going to give account of every word he ever spoke.
Yeah, it says that you're going to for every idle word that you mutter, you judge.
Absolutely.
also another verse that says that no man can tame the tongue.
That's James chapter 3. But it also said a perfect man could. It said no man can tame the tongue except a perfect man.
So it says except the perfect man?
It said a perfect man would be able to bridle his tongue. We can get that, brother, because I don't want to butcher it too much. Absolutely, that's the book of James chapter 3, verse 1. But still hold what you had in 1 Corinthians 4. Absolutely, brother. Hey, we love this, brother. Hey, shoot, man. We love this word, brother. And notice what he said about that woman, because she loved much. The Pharisees, they were over there trying to judge Yahawah, man. They wanted to look righteous. That's why they doing all that pointing of the finger. This woman was washing his feet with her hair and tears, brother. So she as well loved this word. What is Yahawah? He's the word made flesh. So you would be that woman that's like, hey, I don't want to leave, brothers. You ain't got to rush for me. I love him. That's why I want to keep the commandments. A lot of people try to say that it's about the punishment, brother, but also a good reason that we keep this commandment that the Most High God said was to love him. That's in the law, brother. We keep these commandments because we love him as well.
But love, if you look at the etymology of love, it literally is to keep the commandments of God.
Right.
So when I look at things like that, and it would feel good to say, yeah, I love God, because it's like, I'm one of those, I'm just keeping real. Like, I'm just not living 100% in like my purpose right now. Like I just told you. So it's like I can't as a man that I take my word serious.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna say like I 100% love God, because if I know it means to keep the commandments of God, and I know that I'm not keeping all the commandments, and I'm not gonna say that I 100% love God. But I do know that there's like I do, but you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Technically I don't, but I actually really do.
Absolutely.
So
what I'm trying to tell you, brother, is you're closer than a brother who doesn't realize that that's the case. That's all I'm really trying to get across to you. That's what the scripture's trying to get across to the Pharisees about. If you knew you were blind, I could heal you. But because you say you see, your sin remains. You don't seem to be like that, brother. So none of us are out here perfect, brother. Matter of fact, I can prove. I know somebody would say, "Be perfect, man." Matter of fact, that's gonna be the
first thing the Israelites gonna say.
Hey, make sure I remember these things, brother, because I want to address that perfect thing too. What did I have you holding up? Yeah, let's get, because you brought this up, brother. James chapter 3.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's go to the first one.
The book of James, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Yeah.
My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
Brother, that may be the spirit. Because you just said, how do you get with brothers? This is James giving a warning to everybody who comes out to be a teacher. Okay, when it says be not many masters, that means be not over that many people. Okay, when you're a teacher in Israel, you're over people, brother. Most High willing, there may be thousands of people that watch your videos and come to hear what you say. James is telling you not to take this lightly. Start it over from the top, brother.
The book of James, chapter 3 and verse 1. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we all should receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man.
See, brother, that's how that goes. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man. And it does say that no man can bridle the tongue, but it also first said that a man is a perfect man if he can do so. So are you never gonna slip, brother? I wouldn't even say that to anybody. But yet still, we are commanded to be perfect. So every man that's desiring to be perfect should be doing his best to bridle his tongue. Does that make sense? Absolutely. Keep going with that, brother.
And able also to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold, also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of the fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so the tongue,
even so what, brother?
Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed.
It's what you was talking about, brother. He's comparing this to all the animals and things we've been able to tame. But what, brother?
And have been tamed of mankind. But the tongue...
But the what, brother?
But the tongue can no man tame.
That's what you was really getting into, brother. So absolutely, he said that a perfect man would be able to bridle his tongue. But that's how we know that no man is... Brother, The Bible does say that we have to be perfect, but you'll notice, and I was actually meditating on this, how many of the people who were said perfect called themselves perfect though? Okay, the Bible just told you to let another man exalt you. So nobody should be walking around here saying they're perfect, even if you was perfect. In the book of Job, chapter 1, I'm going to just say it, but trust me, it's sitting there. We can read it. But in the book of Job, chapter 1, it lets you know that he was a perfect man.
There was a man in the name of Uz, the name of Job, and the name of perfect.
But let's go to Job chapter 9, verse 20, brother, and we can see what Job said about
He
himself.
said, I should have died.
Now you get my point, brother. Absolutely. So we're striving for perfection, but we're not putting perfection on ourselves as if we already know that that's us. Does that make sense?
100%.
So a brother is reaching and striving for perfection, but you're in a whole different spirit if you're walking around saying, yeah, I'm perfect. Okay, we're going to hear Job say what that means in 9 and 20.
Book of 1 John, chapter 2, starting at verse 5. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that said he abideth in him on himself also so to walk even as he walked.
That's made plain, brother. If you're saying that you abided in him, you ought to walk even as he walked. I'll say this again. Notice they didn't say how your camp walked. Notice they didn't say how Bishop Nathaniel walked. I'm only bringing that brother up because we're talking about it. But even way, this said that he that said he'd abide in Yahawah ought himself to walk as he walked. He's the blueprint, brother. He's the door. He said he was the way, the truth, and the life. No man goes into the Father but by him. So at the end of the day, brother, there's plenty of scriptures to let us know who it is we should be modeling ourselves after. And that's of Yahawah. What did I have, a brother Holder?
Tell the truth.
Which one? Yeah, Job 9 and 20. Let's get what Job said about himself as far as being perfect, brother.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 20. If I justify myself, my own mouth shall condemn me.
Ooh, Job was spitting. Job said, if I justify myself, my own mouth is going to condemn me. What else, brother?
If I say I am perfect.
If I say what?
If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse.
Brother, so what is this saying? If you see a brother come out and say he perfect, hey, he got to go take that up with Job, man. Job disagrees with him. And Job was called a perfect man. That's why I'm bringing this out. Okay, the Most High God may see you as perfect, which we know some people in the scripture was labeled as perfect. But you as a man should never see yourself as perfect. That's probably one of the things that makes you perfect, is that you're not walking around here like you've already attained that. All right, let Job finish that. Matter of fact, let's get that from that again, brother. We need to hear that one more time.
Say, yeah, read it one more time.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 20. If I justify myself, my own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. Though I were perfect, yet would I not know my soul.
Ooh, man, Job spitting in this. If I was perfect, I still wouldn't know my own soul. What else, bro?
I would despise my life. This one thing, therefore I said it. He destroyed the perfect and the wicked. If the scourge slay suddenly, he will laugh at the trial of the innocent. The earth.
Salaki, we can start right there, brother. But that's just letting you know what Job thought about himself. Okay, even though we know Job to be a perfect man, he wasn't walking around with that Pharisee spirit of thinking that he was perfect. So perfect that when he comes to the altar to pray, he's regularly pointing the finger at publicans instead of saying, Most High, have mercy on me, a sinner. Okay, that's the spirit that all of us brothers should be in, because none of us are so perfect and righteous that we don't need to be coming in that humble and sincere spirit, brother. So that's why I'm just telling you the kind of brother that we're looking for. Not even that, brother. It's not me telling you. The word is telling you what kind of brother the Most High is looking for. So even more than what I can say, brother, it's not really me saying it. Yahawah is telling you the kind of brothers that he's looking for. What did I have you with, brother? We about to wrap some of these up. Oh, yeah, I think you were still in Sirach 27. Yeah, let's get more on that, brother.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 27, and verse 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessels, so the trial of man is in his reason.
I brought that out to brothers not that long ago, man. Read that one more time. Let me see what you get from this, brother.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessels, so the trial of man is in his reasoning.
That says the trial of man is in his reasoning. What's reasoning? That's decision making, brother. I tell these brothers this all the time, and I know somebody's going to take this the wrong way, but your biggest trials aren't going to necessarily be confounding people that don't know the word. That's why we need to look at ourselves as physicians who come out there to heal people that are sick.
My biggest trial is going to be what?
Let them get that again, brother.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessels, so the trial of man is in his reasoning.
Meaning the test of a man is in his reason. How do you reason, brother? How do you come up with your decision? And I say that, brother, because some of the things that are going to test you are not always going to be the people that don't know the scriptures. That's sometimes an easy battle. What they say in the world, low-hanging fruit. It's low-hanging fruit to be able to attack a brother that don't really know anything. And a lot of times the same way is the heathen. Brother, your biggest trials is going to be reasoning. And I keep saying that brother going to hit on this video and look me up. I keep bringing up Bishop Nathaniel because that's a good example of a trial that a man may go through. Okay, how do you reason with people who are really going to test you? Okay, that's a good question that this thing is asking. The trial of a man is going to be determined by his reasoning. Did you make good decisions over bad decisions? That's going to be the biggest trial of you. And that's going to also work the same way in this truth, brother. You're going to be tried even by brothers in this truth. And I'm willing to believe more so. People think that once you get in the truth, the fire gets a little lower. No, brother, somebody's turning that fire up. Because maybe in the world, you could confound everybody you came across. You probably already know more than every Christian you'll see. Okay, that Christian ain't going to confound you no more. The fire's going to be turned up once you get into this truth, brother. And you got to be around brothers that know the scriptures maybe even more than you. But that's why Yahawah told us in the scriptures, we read that in Sirach 37 and 19, and we got that echoed in Matthew 23, that some men are here to teach us, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we need to follow their words, to follow their ways. My brother brought out beautifully, who is the one person we should be walking like? Yahawah, brother, that's made plain. Okay, and no teacher would tell you any different. No leader and teacher in Israel that's humble, that's worth his salt, should tell you any different than that, brother. Keep going on that.
The fruit declaring if the tree have been dressed, so is the utterance of a conceit in the heart of man. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak.
Praise no man before what, brother?
Praise no man before thou hearest him speak. For this is the trial of man.
Think about that, brother. It's telling you also the trial of man. We just found out that it's your reasoning, but guess how we're going to be able to know your reasoning, whether it was good or bad, brother? By what comes out of your mouth. That's why we brought up the tongue first. So that's why it's telling you, don't praise anybody before you've heard them speak. Okay, man, brothers, and this always gets me, man. People act like their speech doesn't mean a lot. And I just really don't like that in Israel. It just seems insincere. You can go and get all the commandments that you can point a brother out and be like, you're not wearing fringes, you're not doing this. And that same brother won't watch his mouth. Me and my brother was talking about that, man. We don't try to do that because we try to make sure that we bridle our own tongue. So I'm not going to use any names, but we know that that's real big in Israel. There's brothers that are out there judging every single body, whether your hair too long, okay, whether you got this kind of fringes on, and yet them same brothers will be cussing everybody out while they doing it.
Well,
So,
that's the reason why I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, absolutely, bring it out, bro.
So what turned me off to this entire thing for a very long time is the videos. They're very, my cousin is literally the only reason that's why even there is to try and see that.
Absolutely.
Because the videos online, they be very rude. They be really rude, when I tell to him, that he always went up to one verse where it says, go out and raise thy voice like a trumpet and tell my people like about this transgression.
Absolutely.
I just finished Isaiah. I'm in Jeremiah now, and I understand that and I know, but at the same time, it also says that I don't know where the verse is. I just know it's in there. There was another verse that said, and I'm paraphrasing.
Absolutely, bro.
I'm
Maybe
paraphrasing.
we'll be able to get it for you.
I know
Matter of fact, can
y'all-
you grab Galatians 6 and 1?
y'all-
I'm already thinking something that's making
Yeah,
you
look at the sword, man. That's all y'all do is just cook you without all that sword. So like,
that Galatians 6 and 1 and 2 Timothy 2 in verse 24.
Yeah, it's a weapon for sure. It's definitely like there's a verse that says that you should be able to teach a man to find women. There's another verse that says a soft response turns
Away wrath.
But harsh words stir up anger.
Brother.
If you know someone's already going through something, why are you trying to make them feel like more bad about it?
Absolutely.
I understand.
Brother.
Like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just, because this is amazing to me, brother, because this been on my spirit, man. I just watched the video that insulted me. I'm not going to say who, but you stirred up more strife and contention because of how you spoke. If you see somebody walking by and she's dressed, you know, maybe in a way that doesn't look, and you're like, look at you, you hoe, you a whore, you a harlot. Okay. Do you really think you want that woman to turn to repentance, or are you just trying to point the finger? You know you're going to offend her by calling her that. There's a way to teach somebody that's not necessarily, matter of fact, this verse, when he continues, is going to get into that, brother. But there is a way that you can teach somebody if you really love them. If I really love you, brother, I don't want to offend you. We brought this out, man. It's like seeing your brothers and sisters on fire and you got water. I'm not going to start poking fun at you because you're on fire. Look at you, brother, you burning, you stupid idiot. Like, I'm going to have love and compassion and be like, brother, come over here, let's get this water, brother. Let me help you. Let me put you out. I got something you need, brother. But if you first thing you do is you see that woman dressed a certain way and you know you're not about to reach her. Why do that? Okay, you're right, brother, and that's why you'll never see this camp disagree with that. Okay, a lot of us do end up rubbing some of our brothers and sisters the wrong way, because we don't do this in sincerity and in truth. We do this in that Pharisee spirit, brother. It just has to be said, man. Okay, a lot of us are ended up teaching with that spirit of, I keep these amount of commandments so I can talk like this, that, and the third. Brother, you're a hypocrite that the Bible speaks of.
That's what had me afraid of, like, you know, not necessarily following you guys, but like even giving my time to it. It's like I don't want to be part of those 2/3 that's following the wrong people.
Brother, I'm not trying to, but that's what we're here to do.
I know,
brother.
I
know. Look who we telling you to follow.
Yeah,
even me, brother. I don't want you to leave here following me. We do want you to leave here following Yahawah.
But you know what I'm saying, though?
Absolutely.
I'm just being careful about where I actually put my time.
That's exactly what we should. What did this say? Praise no man before you've heard what? Before you've heard him speak, brother.
Yeah.
So you're being wise by doing that. You shouldn't give any man credit before he's let his word show you what he is. Yahawah said that you can tell what's in a man's heart by what comes out of his mouth. That's why he said it's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man, it's what comes out of the mouth that defiles a man.
What verse is that?
That's Matthew 15 and 10.
15 and 10?
He's got a precept, and then we're going to get to that Galatians 6 and 1 and 2 Timothy chapter 2. To get yours first, brother.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manners.
Just what, brother?
Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manners.
So, brother, that is a communication that's evil. Okay, we all can see what spirit. You're not tricking nobody when you're doing that, man, when you're acting like that. Brothers will bring out Isaiah 58, like you said. It said, cry aloud, spare not, and lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgressions. All praise to the Most High. But it didn't say that you show people their transgressions by insulting them. People go to that scripture to try to we're no better than Christians when we do that. Because now you're taking one verse to try to justify something, and you act like you didn't read a verse like my brother just brought out in 1 Corinthians, or a verse like this, brother, that Galatians 6 and 1.
The book of Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness.
No, brother, in the spirit of being rude and mean and condescending and all out wicked.
In the spirit of meekness.
It said if you see a man in a fault, you restore that brother in a spirit of meekness. Doing what, brother?
Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself.
Think about that, brother, considering thyself. Okay, think about you when you was wicked in the world, maybe smoking and you didn't know this. If some brother seen you on the street was like, look at you, you stupid idiot, you don't even know you Israel. Brother, you're not going to listen to that. You got to consider how you was when you was in the world. And the same thing goes for that sister that may be dressed like a harlot. If somebody comes out and starts telling you, whore, I'm just saying, like, that wouldn't restore you if you was in that person. That's why they said consider yourself. What else, brother?
Lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden.
Let's go to that 2 Timothy real quick. The book of 2 Timothy chapter 2. It is, brother. And it also echoes this, brother, 2 Timothy chapter 2. And let's get verse 24.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive.
Must not what, brother?
Must not strive.
This is what the servants of Yahawah are going to be trying to put into place, brother.
But be gentle unto all men.
That's the verse I was thinking about.
Apt to teach.
Apt to what, brother?
Apt to teach. Patient and meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves.
That oppose me, brother.
That oppose themselves.
If somebody don't want to hear this word, brother, or they out there in their wickedness, they not insulting you, brother. They opposing themselves. That's why I said it's like a person that's on fire that don't see that you got water. They not burning you by being on fire, brother. They burning themselves. So if that person don't want to take the water that you're trying to give out, you should have a bit of sympathy for them, brother. A bit of restraint, if nothing else, and things like patience. because they're not hurting you by being on fire, brother. That's why I said brothers would do well in this walk if we stop looking at ourselves like judges who were pointing out criminals and more like physicians who were healing people that were sick. That would give you a better spirit about how you should do this ministry. You look at people like they're sick, and you're the physician that's here to help them. That's what we read in Luke 5:30. Continue a little bit on that, bro.
If God, peradventure, will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth, and that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will.
So that's how we should be able to teach, brother. That's why all of these things come into play, brother. We can go to the book of Galatians chapter 5 and read some of the fruits of the Spirit. So brothers can't just throw those type of scriptures away and pull out Isaiah 58 and say, this is why I talk like I talk. It's more to it than that. Okay, we can't base our entire ministry off of one precept that essentially just allows us to never change. We don't want to be corrected. We don't want to live in the entire Bible and let the entire Bible be true. So we have to make sure that we're not following in that transgression, brother. Matter of fact, I still had you in that Sirach, brother. We're going to finish it up eventually. Still got Sirach 27, brother. It's a little bit more on that bone, brother. I know we keep, how you sisters doing? Y'all ain't got any questions about anything, do you?
Not on that bone.
Let's get a little bit more. I think we might have ended at what, verse 7? Okay, come.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27, verse 8. If thou followest righteousness, thou shalt obtain her, and put her on as a glorious long robe. The birds will resort unto their light, so will truth return unto them that practice in her. As the lion lieth in wait for the prey, so sin for them that work iniquity. The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom.
Brother, I love this verse. Matter of fact, we're going to start that again. Say it one more time, brother.
The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom.
Discourse is your conversation. You know that, right, brother? Discourse means to conversate. Listen to what it says the conversation of a godly man is.
The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom.
No, brother, sometimes with wisdom.
Always with wisdom.
No, brother, I get to get in my feelings because they really made me mad, so I'm going to call this woman a whore.
Always with wisdom.
Brother, if your speech is always with wisdom, you're going to try to restore that sister in, like we read in Galatians 6, a spirit of meekness. It says that a godly man, his conversation is going to always be with wisdom. What else, bro?
But a fool changes as the moon.
And a fool is going to change as the moon. Meaning sometimes you might see that brother, like you say, you watch videos. If a brother make 20 videos, maybe 10 of them, you see the brother, you know, with a good spirit, doing more teaching. That's what it says we're supposed to do. It says your speech is supposed to be for the use of edification. So you coming out here to teach people, man. That's why I say that spirit of being a physician that's trying to heal people is way better than being a judge handing out penalties to criminals. Okay, because we should be restoring one another with our speech. We should be edifying the people with our speech. We come out here to teach people. And like 2 Timothy said, peradventure, the Most High may give them the increase if they are able to receive the knowledge of the truth. Keep going on that, brother. I think it's almost a wrap.
If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding.
Be continually among who, brother?
Among men of understanding. The discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is in the wantonness of sin. The talk of him that sweareth much maketh the hair stand upright.
It says the talk of him that sweareth much make your hair stand upright. And I know all swearing ain't necessarily curse words, but I sure don't want to be on the side of saying words and not really consider what was coming out of my mouth. Okay, we can also go to the book of Sirach 28. It says, put a bar upon your mouth and weigh thy words in the balance. So there are some words that you can use, and because they're not offensive to you doesn't mean it's not offensive to somebody that you're saying. That's why I first said that those words are irksome. You calling somebody a whore, listen to what it says it's going to do to that person you're trying to teach. Keep going, brother.
And their brawls make one stop his ears.
Sometimes people stop their ears because of you. I know Ezekiel 2:7 does teach us that some people, you know, they're going to close their eyes, close their ears, they're not going to want to hear. But some people stop listening to you for like what you said, brother. You see a spirit on that brother, or you see the way that brother speaks, and you like, you know what, I can't really listen to that. That's just the truth, man. Some of us stop people's ears because of the way we speak as well. And that's a shame that we do that, because whatever you're saying to that sheep, I guarantee you're not just pulling out the scripture. When you call that woman a whore or whatever you may say to her, pull the verse that says that. That way, I mean, at least you're justified in what you're saying. But if you just letting your mouth run freely, it doesn't look like you're weighing your words in the balance. Is there anything else on that, brother? One more, brother.
The strife of the proud is bloodshedding, and their revilings are grievous to the ear.
And these are mighty things, brother, and Most High willing, we're bringing out a lot of things for you to consider, because when you come out here to do this work, brother, these are all the things that you should want to be good at. These are all the things that you're going to use to prove yourself. Make sure that you're a humble and contrite brother that's out there to wake up the spirit of the humble and the contrite. Like the scripture said, make sure that you're able to bridle your tongue, brother. Make sure that you speak as if you do so in the sight of the Most High God. You do this work in sincerity and in truth. All of these things matter, brother. And like us brothers also said, and we never could skip, the man that the Most High God gives understanding to is him that keepeth the commandments. So the perfection of all of that wisdom, the perfection of that fear, is going to be the fact that you come back to his law, statutes, and commandments as well. Brother, you brought out a mighty point. Now we're going to get to it in Zephaniah 2:1. And then also, brother, if I think somebody got Ecclesiastes chapter, we'll get that too, and the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9. Because you mentioned a mighty thing. You said, I'm not able to watch videos on YouTube, but my brother, he's the one who kept me in this truth. Brother, that's one of the most important things that we can do if we want to be able to stay in the eye, righteous in the eyes of the Most High God, and be able to do his work and do his will. This is something that we need, brother. Actually, it's a commandment. It's not just a need. This is what we were commanded to do.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Read out. Gather yourselves together.
Now stay alone.
Gather yourselves together.
Brother, this is mighty. That's why your brother was maybe able to keep you above water, even though you weren't able to find that many camps that you could listen to. This is a commandment to gather ourselves together. That what, brother?
Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
No, O camp not desired.
O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass after chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
So one of the mightiest things that we can do, brother, to not only make sure that we stay in this truth, but to have somebody hold you accountable, brother. That brother that you said, your cousin, he may have kept you in this truth, but if you get together with us, brothers, we're going to help you be able to the best of our ability, abstain from being able to smoke, brother, or abstain from lust. Because you got a brother that you can call and confess that with. Okay, you can pick up the phone. I told, man, I was going through something with my rib, man. And, you know, me and this brother, we had some mighty conversations. I've had mighty conversations with my brother here. That's what us brothers do, man. That is so powerful to have in this walk, man. There's something about having a brother that can pick you up when you're going through something. So if you come and you confess that fault with a brother who you know loves you, that's why I said get with a man of understanding. So you have a bunch of brothers surrounding you. My brothers here as well. These brothers, they come out here week in and week out as well, man. It's so mighty to see brothers that you know that are in this truth, that are not only willing to hold you accountable, but they want you to do that for them as well. That's a mighty clique to have, brother, and that's how we stay lifted up. That's how we stay in this walk together and not separate, brother. Because this said, matter of fact, it's going to... let's get it, brother.
Verse 3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which hath wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger.
That's how we able to seek righteousness, brothers. We have to gather together. My brother got another one that echoes that.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 1. Read us. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
So again, brother, stay alone.
Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
What days are we in, brother?
In the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel, your father.
So even to the last days, brother, we were commanded to gather ourselves together. This verse right here is going to tell us why it's so important, brother. Ecclesiastes 4 and 9.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 9.
We know that.
Two are better than one.
How many are better than one, brother?
Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. But if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
That's all I was saying, brother, but what else?
But woe to him that is alone.
Brother, woe means danger, destruction, brother. Woe unto him that is alone. For what, brother?
When he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up.
Brother, that's what this whole truth is really supposed to be about. Yes, we're a camp. Yes, we have our leadership, brother. At the end of the day, we're establishing a brotherhood. I love these brothers already, man. And if you were able to dwell with us, brother, you would be just that much more brother, just that much more armor that we can put on. because this said that woe to that man that is alone, because he has not his brother to pick him up. How you doing? Hey, Most High willing, y'all check that flyer out, okay? We put up videos on YouTube teaching us that the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans go back to the children of Israel that the Bible speaks of. So check out the YouTube and learn more about who you are and what the Most High God wants from us. Y'all have a blessed night. So again, brother, this is telling us that woe to that man that's alone, because he's not going to have his brother to pick him up. Brother, that may be one of the most important things that you could do in this walk, because you are going to struggle. That verse that my brother brought out in Sirach 2 said that a man is tried in the furnace of adversity, the same way gold is tried in the fire. Okay, you put gold in the fire to see if it's really real. If you don't put it in the fire, you don't know it's real. The Most High God said in the same way, man has to be put through adversity to know if he's real. One of your biggest weapons in being able to fight that, outside of course, the word, is like we've been commanded to do, gather together, O nation not desired. And woe to them that is alone, because when you fall, you don't have a brother to pick you up. So I'm going to tell you this, brother, and we don't say this, whether you want to join the camp or not, lean on us, brother. Okay, it's so much bigger than the camp. I want a brother like you when you're going through something to feel like you can pick up the phone and hit a brother, either one of us, no matter what, brother. Okay, no matter where you go in your walk, you should always be able to dwell with your brothers. That way, whenever you're going through something, you're not by yourself, brother.
I am by myself, y'all.
Yeah, that's, you say you are by yourself?
Yeah, I don't have any family or friends on it. This is literally just me. So when I go through like financial things, or my spirit is like something is off, or whether it's like something with my mom, it's like the only person I call is my cousin, who he's always gonna refer to the Bible. Like I can't talk, like he's a genuine, like true Bible company. He cannot talk
and he
about
in WFI, I believe.
Yeah, he can't talk about
He is.
nothing if it's not the Bible. Even if he drinks wine, like he'll get like buzzed. He'll start talking about the Bible. I'm like, all right, look, this is kind of what I need. So he's like, you need a brotherhood. It's really just me. So that's the reason why I chose to come here today.
All praise to the Most High. Think about how much that makes this scripture come to pass. Yeah. You being able to have that brother brought you out here today. Okay, we know this all works through the Most High, like we read in Proverbs 20 and 24. But you having that cousin, that brother on your side that's in this truth, may have Most High willing led you to some other brothers that's going to be here for you as well. Brother, you don't have to leave here today alone. I can tell you that. Okay, I'll definitely give you my contact. We already got each other's contact. Just reach out, brother, and start dealing with us, brother. Okay, whenever you pick up the phone, you're going through something, if you want to take your time, nobody's putting any pressure on you, brother, but we do want to make these scriptures come to pass where you gather yourselves together with your brothers and you don't be out there caught alone, that if you do go through something, you have brothers to pick you up. And I'm pretty sure all the brothers out here would agree that we can do that with you. You can do that with them as well. So you got my contact. If you want to reach out to any other brothers, Most High willing, man, you do that. And you can have multiple brothers that you can reach out to. All praise to the Most High, man.
I remember earlier when you were talking about, man, I don't know if I love him, man, because I know loving him means keeping the commandments, and I ain't keeping the commandments. Explain something to you. Even myself, no matter how much of this knowledge I have, how long I've been keeping these commandments, when I pray to Almighty God, I tell you, yes, I love you, but I do not love you as much as I should. And you need to always keep this spirit. Always. Because it's not always about, like you talk about your job. Keep the Shabbat because they won't listen. Captivity won't let you. You keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments best of your ability. Grace. So yes, I love you as much as I possibly am able to at this point in time. Sometimes it is a such thing as I love you, man, but it's smoking out every third month. I keep smoking something. See what I'm saying? So you always be open and honest with it. And he's going to say, thank you for being honest. I'm going to show you how to fix it.
Absolutely.
And he's going to walk it out of you. That's the same with anything. When you turn on your shower, you turn it hot as you want it. You don't take out the clothes, just jump right in. You wait, fill it up. Okay, yeah, there it is. There it is. You know what I'm saying? And you get, that's how you walk. That's how you do this thing. And like brother's saying, hey, man, you got brothers, man. You got a nation that really, we want and need support in brotherhood. And you think we're going to turn, that's what we need and want, so we need to help so that we, look what I need, I feel so good. So when I need help, a part of this whole thing is about when we do show the love. I know you said it when you power up, That's just how it is. So, you know, that's what this is.
Notice why Yahawah said that the two greatest commandments was that you love the Most High God and that you also love your brother. Brother, that's why I said that may be one of the most important things we could have brought out to you. Is that if we're going to need help in this walk, brother.
Yeah,
None of us
love your neighbor as you love yourself. And if you do that, then you are covering all of the commandments.
Yeah, you do all the laws and the prophets, brother. Because when you love somebody, you keep the commandments as well. So like you said, you're right, the definition of what love goes back to and described in 1 John 5 is that if you love the Most High God, you're going to keep his commandments. And if you love your brother, you're going to keep his commandments. I just wanted to get you one more, brother, in that Proverbs 24:16.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse 16.
Yeah.
For a just man falleth 7 times.
Hold up, brother. A just man does what? Notice this is talking about a just man. Even a just man does this, bro.
For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again.
That's the most important part, though, brother. A just man doesn't just fall and say to himself like, man. Like my brother said, these commandments too hard, man. I'ma just give up. No, a just man, even when he falls, he's going to get back up because he's convicted.
Right.
Okay, his conscience is going to be convicted. It's going to convict him. So even a just man may slip in something, but he's not going to do this, brother. Finish out the end to that.
But the wicked shall fall into mischief.
But the wicked fall into mischief. That means you fall into your sin. You know what? And that's something scary, man. The scariest thing that I may have happen to me is not when I maybe make a mistake, but it's when I start trying to justify the mistake. That's when you know, like, hey, that's dangerous territory right there. Now I may be being able to be given over to that reprobate mind. Because you may tell yourself, man, I shouldn't be smoking weed. Hey, man, I'm messing up. But then you may go into it like, but is it really a sin, though? Like, hold up, like, can I maybe smoke a little bit? Like that's when I'm starting to get scared. Like, hey, man, make sure you're not out here trying to justify your wickedness. Because it did say that a just man may fall 7 times, but he's not going to fall into mischief. Right. So it's important that even if we do go through our bumps, like my brother said, you treat it like water that's hot, and you take all you can take, brother. You do this with all of your heart and all your soul. You try to love the Most High God. But a man, when he falls, a just man is always going to get back up. He's not going to just stay down there and try to make justification for his wickedness. That's why the first thing we brought out, think about what Yahawah told that Pharisee. If ye were blind, I would be able to heal you. But because you say you see, your sin remains. That's just like that person like, hey, you know what? You saying that you smoke and you can't do it, you want help. If you knew that, I may be able to help you. But since you walking around saying, man, it's just weed, it's from the earth, even though it's not from the earth, they put 16,000 chemicals in it.
Right.
And you still tell yourself, man, it's from the earth. He can't help you because you don't know you need the help.
Oh.
How can you heal a patient who don't know he's sick? He's not going to seek out the physician. So it's important that even if we do fall, brother, we always get back up.
That's right.
And most importantly, like we brought out, man, the best way to be able to do that is to gather together with your brothers. So that way when you do fall, you don't fall alone. You're able to have somebody pick you back up as well. Because you're definitely going to need their help in this walk.
Ask Yahawah, he hear what I pray. Cause I know I can die any day. Teach Yahawah, just show me the way. Tryna walk down the path that you laid.